Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. St. James records 2 murders 4 days into 2023. Explosion at Bahia Principe Hotel in St. Anne. And later in sports, no permanent head coach is expected to be named for West Indies before April. Thanks for joining us. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here are the details. The Bahia Principe Hotel in St. Anne has launched an investigation following an explosion at a section of its facility this morning. It's reported that the incident happened minutes after 4 during cleaning and preparations at one of the restaurants. 2 team members received injuries but were treated and sent home. St. James has recorded its 2nd murder since the start of the year. The latest incident happened Tuesday night in Mount Salem, St. James. According to reports, 28-year-old Nicholas Clark was at home with a relative when armed men entered the house and shot him multiple times. He died on the spot. The relative was not hurt. Clark's mother said she was at work when she got the news her firstborn was killed.
I got the call about 10:30, 11. While I sell in the street, you know. I sell at Market Street. So I got the call from the father, so I was packing up my things to bring the goods them at the arcade. And then the father said, come up. I said, I can't come up at the moment, no. I said, anything happen, let the police deal with it and I will come in the morning. And that's what I do.
She is, however, not surprised at his demise.
Several times I warned him about his friend them. It's heartbreaking. I said, let go your friend them and keep yourself to yourself and do your work. He's nice otherwise, but he don't listen to me. Me the worst thing in my life. It's never shocking to me, you know, because I got the vision and I come up here and tell him, and the father did rush me so much. All I do, I just drink water and just walk away and say I left everything to God. So when me hear the passing last night, I was in the street at Market Street selling, and I get the call. I said the end of it, my heart did start to come like this.
The plan to have the Jamaica Agricultural Society becoming an autonomous body by May this year will not materialize. JAS President Lenworth Fulton says there are a number of things to be ironed out that is not yet done. Mr. Fulton made the disclosure in an interview with our news team on Tuesday. Last June, Cabinet announced that the JAS will be off their books by May 2023. The society receives $100 million to fund its operations annually, but under the new arrangement, that would come to an end. Mr. Fulton says some of the requirements which is needed for the transition to be completed cannot be done by the in-house staff.
We are now sending a document this week or probably today or tomorrow to the ministry, to the permanent secretary, that we have found a firm that could help us to prepare these documents. Because they want us to prepare projected cash flow like 10 years ahead. They wanted to know our performance like 10 years back and to do certain projections. The original date was set for May 2023, but I don't think we can make that date. I think it will be further on in the year, probably September or so, before we finish and for the consultant firm to do their recommendation.
Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie has announced plans to rebuild the Alexandria Food and Meat Market in St. Anne. The move has been welcomed by residents. The details in this report. The Alexandria Market in St. Anne has been out of use for decades, causing great inconvenience for many persons living in the area. They have had to traverse miles and hours to get to the nearest brownstone market.
I want to see push down, man. I want to push away. And build up it good, that means to say, boy, you find say Murray, Booker, Grand Mountain, all around the area can come and use the market. Fence around the market, and then after you fence the market, when you fence the market, make a gate where them come in and can sell them product. When you come in and you sell your product, we all good.
Well, we don't have the money to go to Brownstown. Sometimes the bus fare not available, and I would like it to look after.
But at a political meeting in the parish recently, local government minister Desmond McKenzie said the plans are in place to rebuild the market.
We're adding to the list the Alexandria market. The estimate for that market has been completed, and we're going to be moving to put the necessary protocols in place so that we can commence the work.
Mr. McKenzie did not give much details to say when work will begin or completed, but he wanted to make it clear that the move was not a political one.
We are carrying out our obligation as a government, and we are fulfilling these obligations because the people of this country need to see their government in work. Working, the government need to work, and that is what we are doing as a party and as a government.
Residents have welcomed the news but are cautiously optimistic as promises have been made in the past.
This will stop a lot of people to go anywhere else because everything else is in Alexandria.
When you do it so now and set up this market, we don't have to go down there. So it's the best for them set it up and make we have it for use. And the people them going glad to see the move.
There are still differing views among residents of Portmore over the decision to have it become Jamaica's 15th parish. At a town hall meeting held last night, tensions rose as political representatives and residents tried to get their points across as to why there is a need for the now municipality to become a parish.
We need a market. Who is responsible for market? The municipal council, right? So let us not play politics. Let us lead and let us plan and let us think about it objectively.
That we worked hard, very hard as a community, not as political parties, to come to a place where we had a municipality. It is my view that the people need to have a very long discussion as it relates to us becoming a parish council.
Hasn't the PNP been in power for a very long time? Where were those questions years ago? Where were those questions years ago? The piece of fire station that we had there years ago, why didn't they fix it? Why didn't we get a new one? Why didn't we get a hospital?
But another resident believes that getting parish status will be beneficial.
History of Portmore is very good. History is good. History is record of what men have put together. But we have to step up into development. What we need to do now is enforce that the government put in those plans. Put in those things so that we can be a part of it. We also must emphasize that that part on the map, which is the development part, that ask for some things, the political representatives are here, to get Portmore benefiting from that area.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
In business news, the main market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange is projected to struggle in 2023, according to market investors. Long-term investors may see the dip in the main market as a buying opportunity for future gains, but institutional investors caution that interest rate hikes will lengthen that time horizon. According to investment banker Herbert Hall, with continued elevated interest rates and the cloud of uncertainty still looming, stock prices in general are less likely to bounce back and outperform perform as in prior years. However, there have been signs of global and local inflationary pressures easing, with the Central Bank of Jamaica halting rate increases at its last Monetary Policy Committee meeting. Although he says it is welcomed, there is a general consensus that rates will remain elevated in 2023. And according to recent data from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, value added for Jamaica's manufacturing industry in the July to September grew by 9.5%. This was due to higher output levels in both the food, beverages and tobacco and other manufacturing sub-industries of 12.9% and 4.6% respectively. That's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's health report. In this evening's health report, we look at T-Zeal, a new drug for diabetes.
To find the patients, is a big thing, because these are patients who are not showing symptoms yet. So you have to go and screen and do expensive studies on their blood to find these antibodies. And then you say, this person is now likely to go on to develop diabetes. Let us exhibit the drug. So, and how do you find them? Because type 1 is not one that is subject to a strong hereditary pattern.
That's the health report in Primetime News at 7. And now for today's healthy living tip. Maintain a healthy diet, exercise, monitor blood sugar regularly, and prioritize sleep. Now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, in the Turks and Caicos Islands, 4 passengers who were on board a private plane that crashed off the coast of the island have been found alive. The 4 people were rescued by a local fisherman and are now receiving medical attention. On the international scene, more than 180 Rohingya Muslims were rescued in Indonesia last week after drifting at sea for over a month. The Muslim minority group has been attempting the perilous journey from refugee camps in Bangladesh, where they have lived since fleeing a military brutal killing campaign. However, more than 2,000 people died before their boat was found. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report with Jordan Ford.